Alright, hello today again, YouTube. So, I've been doing some reviews of a couple of other things, mower and a generator. I've just been starting up this channel again for the first time in a while, so I'm trying to get some more videos. So I'm going to do a little review of this one as well. Just like kind of like a owner review, like a long-term review. You know, that's what these reviews mostly are how they've held up, any problems we might have had, any issues that have arose, or anything like that, or how good they've been. So my next video I'm going to be doing that with is this one. I know it's a little dirty. You can see it's been used. So it's just a bolens. Obviously, it's bolens, self-discharge mulching, 21-inch cutter. Yes, I mean, 2-year warranty. Who cares about that? It's been way over that. But it's 140cc Briggs. Like I said in the last video, I believe, maybe 2 videos ago with the generator, I've never had real issues with the Briggs & Stratton. I think I've had like one engine blow on me, and that was because when we bought the mower, the engine, I think, was just mistreated its whole life, and we bought it used. So that was pretty much the reason. But anyways, yeah. So this is just it's a very simplistic mower. Obviously, nothing special, you know, other than, you know, it's got the side discharge, which we need because we cut really thick grass. It might not look like it now because it's still early spring, but when we do cut, the grass is very thick and we need it to be able to shoot out. But when you want to, you can flip this down and mulch it up if you wanted to. So what kind of issues have we had with this mower? The main issue we've had with this mower, and I believe it's user error, mainly because, I mean, you're probably thinking user error, how it's a push mower. You pull it, you mow. It smokes now a good little bit, like it's burning oil, but it's just coming from the carburetor. I think because it hasn't been started in so long, it doesn't get used very often. It gets used maybe once every week and a half. I don't know, but I believe when I say user error is because my father, I love my father, but he does not take care of anything. Like, he does not change oil. He doesn't check that stuff really. He barely takes care of his car. And I say barely. So when he's mowing with this, whenever this gets clogged up with grass, because again, when it's wet and heavy, it gets clogged up, instead of just stopping and, you know, lifting this up a little bit and letting the grass shoot out, what he'll do is he will lift it up like this, which I've seen people do. It's not the biggest thing in the world, but he'll bang it really hard, repeatedly, until it unclogs itself, which I never understood. And there's, as you can see with the house here, there's concrete blocks here. You know, these concrete blocks. He will ram the front of it into the block sometimes to knock out some of the grass when he's up against it. I hate that. That's how he broke our other two mowers. We had a Toro mower. He did the same thing repeatedly. It lasted maybe 3 years, if that. This one's going on 4 years because I use it mainly. He's, out of the entire summer, if this mower gets used, say, 30 times, he might use it like 4 times. I do it the rest of the time, so really I try and take good care of it. But that's just the only main problem, is that it smokes, and sometimes it when you're mowing with it, when you first start, it just smokes pretty bad for a couple of seconds sometimes. And other than that, sometimes you can hear it sputtering a little bit, because I think the carburetor might just need to be adjusted a little bit because of that, because of the banging and stuff. But other than that, it's been pretty trouble-free. It's been working very well. It's pretty good on gas. I think it has gas in it. We haven't used this at all. It's been since the winter. It's got some gas in there. It's got enough to start. Yeah, the ripcord's been holding up. Compression's good, mainly. The primer, nothing wrong with that. Then there's your just the air filter, which, yeah, it's dirty. She's dirty. Believe it or not, I cleaned this at the beginning of last season. Like this thing, it looked like that at the beginning of last season. Yeah, I haven't looked at this because I always clean these things every beginning of the season. So yeah, this is just from one season of use. That kind of just goes to show you like how much use it gets, how dirty this filter is from just, like, you know, one late spring and summer and a little bit of the fall. That just goes to show you how much use this mower gets. But anyhow, so that's just your air filter, which I'm gonna just go ahead and put back in place. But yeah, so this mower, it does get used fairly often, and I have to say, I do use this mower for more than it's meant to be used for. Like if you see these weeds and stuff along here, all those weeds, they circle the entire property. So when I'm up front, near the road and stuff, way up there around the house, I'll use this to mow down weeds that are like up past the engine, like knee-high weeds and stuff in the summertime. It's not meant for that, but it does it. So anyhow, other than that, you know, the blade has held up fairly well. We haven't replaced the blade or anything. It's pretty dirty because, like I said, I did not clean this last season underneath it. I usually clean at the beginning of this every season. I have not done that yet. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Trying to do this one-handed, guys. Sorry. Just so we can look at the sharp part of the blade, so you can see how dinged up this blade is. This blade has not been sharpened once since we've had the mower, mainly because it's a push mower. We don't really think about sharpening the blade on it, which, looking at it now, I'm definitely going to sharpen it. But that being said, we never really think of sharpening the push mower blade because it's just a push mower. But, you know, doesn't mean we shouldn't. And I should, so that's my fault. I should have sharpened that, but I haven't. Other than that, it's been very good. The blade, you know, that's gonna happen. It's gonna get dinged up with rocks and stuff, but yeah, so let's go ahead and just start this. I'm not sure how many times I'm gonna prime it. Maybe like, I don't know how many times it was, like 10 times. And now bear with me, I am going to do this one-handed, and the dog is going to probably start barking, so forgive me for that, but I'm gonna try and do this one-handed, guys. So and there you have it. Started on the first pull. Hasn't been started since the beginning of fall, and it's now mid-April, so it's been quite a few months, and it started first pull. Then again, it is like 55 degrees out right now, so it's pretty nice. But yeah, you saw a little bit of smoke come out of it. Not much. I'm actually kind of surprised. This thing, last season when I last used it, it looked like a darn smoke screen coming out of it for like the first minute and a half. So I'm not sure if it's going to last the rest of the season, to be perfectly honest, with it smoking like that, but you never know. It just seems like it might just need a carburetor adjustment, hopefully. But worst comes to worst, we get a new one. And by the way, anybody wondering, the price on this mower, I believe, was the low 200 range. I think it was like 225. Now, I'm saying that based on the fact that I'm not 110% positive. But I'm saying that based on the fact that where I work, we have Craftsman mowers that are 22-inch, no self-propel, sadly. The ones that we have anyway are not self-propelled, but they're Craftsman 22-inch mower and 160 cc, I believe, engine Briggs on them. And those ones are around the 348 mark. And that's with all the prices been going up lately, obviously, for, you know, everything's been going up. Gas, you know, from anything from gas to food, everything's been going up. So I know the prices on those were like about maybe like a $80 difference like 3 years ago, something around there. So that's why I say this was around 225, somewhere around that mark. But it's held up. Honestly, it's done what we needed to, and my neck, and it's light enough that I can push it up these hills and stuff relatively easily. I'm not a fan of pushing a mower up the hills, but it does it. If we do get another mower, I know the self-propel one, a Craftsman self-propel one, is like, I believe, $370. So for like around $20 more, you get a self-propel front-wheel drive one. And we have Toro ones at my work as well. Those are around the same price, but those have self-propelled. I never liked Toro. That's just me. The ones we've had have had problems. Now the one was because of my dad. I'm not knocking Toro. Some people have Toro who might love them. Some people might not. I'm not a fan. But that being said, this bolens is one of the, like, it's more like just an inexpensive, buy it, you use it for just, you know, your home. You wouldn't use it commercially. But if you were to use it commercially, you know, I mean, you could, but I'm not sure how it would hold up mowing like 10 yards every single day or every other day or something like that, whatever it might be. I'm not sure how long it would hold up, because mowing this yard, I don't know, I'd say mowing it with it every summer for 4 years straight, You know, it's held up really well, besides my dad maybe causing the smoke, or it might just be the engine itself. It might not have been from him, but I think it might have been. Now, that being said, it's held up very well for us. Will it hold up in the future for long term, like longer than the 4 years we've had? I don't know. It might. It's been very good to us, minus the engine smoke. But that, I think, is kind of typical for some small engines. But, you know, it's just one of those things. If you're using something commercially, you need something commercially, I would go on a bigger mower, like a more powerful push mower, preferably with front wheel drive or all wheel drive, like a Craftsman or a... I'm not a fan of Husqvarna either, but I know people swear by Husqvarna. So if you're a fan, if you need commercial, by all means try Husqvarna. I'm not a fan of them, but you can try it. Now, the only reason I say Husqvarna is because I've seen people use them for a long term. I've seen people with Husqvarna mowers. Now, that being said, I've had Weed Whacker Husqvarna. I've had Chainsaw Husqvarna. Never had good luck with them. Never, ever had one that ever was good to me. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. That's just my luck. Now, that being said, if you're going to buy this thing and going to use it commercially, don't take my word on it that it's going to last you for years and years and years, being used every single day and abused really bad. But it might. For the money, for the price point, it's been very good. So for a price point, you really can't go wrong. I mean, I'm just noticing this, like the paint chipping here. But there's no rust or anything. The paint chipping is the only other thing that I've noticed that's bad. Other than that, the deck is held up really solid. Everything else is held up real good. I mean, like I said, you can't go wrong with a Briggs & Stratton engine. So that's just like a little, kind of like my 2 cents on this mower, I guess you could say. How it held up and stuff. So hope that maybe might help you in your future endeavors in buying a mower. I would recommend it, honestly, for the price point. Like I said, I think it was around the $200 mark, like the low 200, like 210. I think. Don't quote me on that, because I also have a 180 price point stuck in my head. I don't remember. Now, I looked up prices for this mower, but they were all around like the 230 mark. For whatever reason, I was only seeing like a couple that are around that mark, which I think is just due to prices going way up recently. So yeah, that's just what I think of this mower, and hopefully y'all like the video, and I'm gonna make some more. So I'll get to it now. Have a good one, guys.